What's up, boys? It's the Nostalgic Gaming channel back at it again with some nostalgic gaming content with our Legend of Alon Dar series. And I warn you guys, banger alert, this is probably going to be the most hype video we've made in the entire series, and I don't know if we're going to be able to pass up on it. Spoiler alert, possible world record, maybe? If that interests you, make sure you guys sit in and enjoy this video, and thank you guys for watching all my other videos here. I know they've been getting a lot of recent traction and likes on YouTube. Thank you guys for doing that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check me out on Twitch at the Nostalgic Gaming channel, Twitch TV. Little recap for you guys here. We just got our third party member, Leilani or Tayala. I don't remember exactly her name yet, but it will pop up. She's a little bit behind us in levels. She's, I think, level 5 and we're level 7 or level 6. So we're going to have to bring her up. And if you guys see me running around in circles here, you guys know why. It's because we missed a single silver acorn. A single silver acorn. And it wouldn't let me backtrack earlier when I was looking for it. So I'm going to have to check every square inch of the Oran Highlands here to make sure that we're not missing a single silver acorn. And if you could tell, I'm a little bit salty and bitter about it, but it's okay. It was actually a 5-head plan to improve my party, because once I take that last one, we're all going to get that extra sweet PPP, right? We're all going to get it, and we're going to be a stronger party together because we completed this arduous journey. Not a lot of collectible quests have been completed here in the Nostalgic Gaming channel's reign of Legend of Alon Dar, this playthrough. I think in recent memory, I've completed 1 or 2. It was the Pieces of Amber. I'm very proud about that. But I think, you know, I don't want to spoil too much. This is a voiceover. I've been working with the voiceovers here, so hopefully it comes out a little bit better than my normal videos. And they gave us 2 lurkers here, which I should be able to kill in 1 hit. Yep. Throw me some difficult enemies, Alon Dar. These lurkers aren't cutting it. These wither potions aren't cutting it. I have enough money now probably to buy an entire village in Alon Dar, right? Based on how much the weapons cost and whatnot. I don't need a wither potion or wither bane, so that's why I'm purposely ignoring them. Oh, that's a zombie, that's why. I was gonna say, how did I not one-tap that guy? But as you can see, I haven't powered up any upgrades yet for our new party member. So she's a little bit behind in the damage category, as she's doing 16 while my teammates are doing 200 plus. So we're gonna have to bump her up a little bit. I made the decision that, I already have a 2-handed weapon, right? I already have a chop into, so I have a blunt weapon. I have a, okay, we're gonna see, oh shoot, I thought we were gonna see your name there. Come on. Yeah. Switch over. Taylani, that's her name. So I made the decision that I have a blunt weapon and I have a cutting weapon. So the book that we read earlier told us, hey, you want to have a dagger because it makes enemies with blood bleed, right? And it kind of balances out against the chopping weapon and the cutting weapon because it's the stabbing weapon, right? So I wanted to diversify my party here. So I figured I'd power up with daggers, and that way she's pretty quick on the draw, so with the dagger speed, she should be able to get several attacks while my other guys are still reloading. So I picked dagger for her, and then I figured I'd load her up with potions, which is what I just did in the inventory. I loaded her up with a bunch of potions to make sure that she can heal my party members as need be. But at this point, rather than using potions, my white orb, my healing orb, is probably my best bet. But hey, better safe than sorry, right? In case we get in a situation where I need to rapidly heal. I'd rather have all my options covered than die, because we've died a couple times in this channel. It's very sad. It's not very fun. Dying in Alon Dar, it's a big sad. Nefrit, the wise woman of my village, we need to talk to her. Yes, a woman should not be ignored, otherwise she'll be scorned, is I believe what it said. Sorry, I clicked through it way too fast on that one. Most of the time, though, if it's just that throwaway text, I don't really need to read it. But I try and read you guys everything, because I know I go through it fast, and I'd rather you guys not have to pause the video. Yeah, but hey, if you guys like this new style of voiceover content rather than just straight gameplay commentary, let me know, and I can keep doing it. It takes a little bit more time, but I think it's a little bit higher quality. And the sound quality, I can mix it around. I just got myself Premiere Pro, so I can mix it around and figure it out. This is not sponsored content, but if Premiere Pro wants to give me it for free, I would love that. If they ever see this video. Yeah, so we're going through, we need to ensure, like I said, that every square inch of this does not have any acorn, and I'm going to find it in a little bit, and I'm going to feel like such a fool because it was in such plain sight. It wasn't hidden in a manger, it wasn't underneath the bed, it wasn't like in a really hard spot to find. This leads to my village, but I dread returning with so much undone. I have not found Grandar, nor have I solved the meaning of the sigil. I too burn to find Grandar, yet the oracle set us up to find the tombs of the heroes, and said what we find in each tomb will help us achieve these quests. If that is so, then your course is clear. Brave the scorn that may await, and ask help of the wise woman to free. A true hero does not seek the easiest path, except in the swamp, but the sooner we find Dromar's tomb, the sooner we can return to Dagon. Speak to Mahir and find Turok's tomb, then we can find one left to find. Spare me, friends, you will argue me thinking day is night. I do jest, and I bow to your wisdom. Let us ask Nefrit how we may find Dromar's tomb. It's a little witty banter between the three, right? Clearly, Tahir is like the wise one. Taylani's kind of like probably the feisty, spicy one. Cracking some jokes, even though she's brand new to the party. And Jarek is just the kind of average, like, protagonist. So we're getting to the dagger. We're going to power stuff up. I'm like, okay, I need to at least, if I power up a little bit and I get 2 attacks on a zombie, this is my thought process at the time. Then if I do 1 big attack with Jarek, I'll be able to kill a zombie, right? Because she should get 2 before Jarek gets 1. And I figure I power up with some shield, but I don't know which shield I want to use yet. Because each different shield seems to have some kind of properties that helps. The larger shields require more dex and give you way more damage protection. I don't know if they slow you down because they don't really explicitly say it. But I figure, like, logically they have to, right? Like, if you're using this big shield rather than this little tiny hand-sized shield, you're going to be a little bit slower. But then again, video game logic doesn't always have to make sense, right? That's why they're video games. It's a fantasy world that you can live out and enjoy without the need for rhyme, reason, or logic. Little goats. Hello, little goats. It's always kind of fun to find those things around. I wish you could interact with them, like feed them or something, but this is a PlayStation 2 era game, and probably putting that in or coding it in. I'm not a coder. I don't know how hard coding it is, but I imagine it probably would have taken time away from the actual gameplay. Oh, there we go. The silver acorns. 30 out of 30. There we go. Collectible quest complete. And unfortunately, we only get 300 PP. How sad is that, right? That's not even enough to level up. That's not even enough to power up any of my skills here. But the journey is sometimes more important than the reward, right? Sometimes the real treasure is a journey that we had and the friends that we made along the way, right? And we made 2 more friends. And they're going to be friends for life, probably, because of all the things we've gone through. So we're going through our village again. I don't remember where Nefrit lives, so I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to mistake and go through every single wrong one before I actually... Big mistake here. I didn't sell everything I had, and I end up having later to throw away a bunch of stuff. And I go through every single house, realize that that's actually Nefrit's friend's house, right? But I go through every single one and I realize, man, I don't know where she's actually at. I don't remember. And then I see it. And then I see it. Prepare to be yelled at by an old lady, right? I've had the visions of you and your companions, Jarek. I know the words the oracle spoke to you and saw the ethereal you faced. I have seen one of the ghostly beings myself long ago at the hill of the oak. I spoke with a Soroja mage named Shadowfire, whom we know as the Hermit of the Cave. Shadowfire claimed to have found an ancient torque in the roots of that oak. I believe it to be the torque of Dromar himself. Dromar's torque held the tooth of Hakar that bit off his finger, and he wore it as a reminder of his mortality. I have the Hakar tooth myself, which Tahir and I won in battle. By the weird, it is a sign. Dromar wants his torque back. You must bring it to him. I believe the torque is the key to opening Dromar's tomb. Perhaps once you open the tomb, the ethereal will come back. If you cross a bridge near the pass to Lord Courts and heads east, you will see the hill of the oak under which Dromar's tomb lies. Shadowfire's cave lies east of the path of the bridge. You must go to him and retrieve Dromar's torque. Be cautious. So we've been given a little bit of insight into the next dungeon that we're going to be going through. Or I guess it's not really a dungeon. I guess it's kind of a dungeon. Not in the traditional sense of like, oh, it's a dungeon crawl, but it's kind of like a subset area where you go through on a specific quest, fight enemies. I guess technically it's a dungeon? Question mark? But we've been given a little bit more insight on where we gotta go. I don't know what a torque is. I've never heard that word before. Oh, a torque is a neck ornament consisting of a band of twisted metal worn especially by the ancient Gauls or the Brits. So I guess it's like a symbolic medal or like necklace, right? So we got to go in there, and lo and behold, that Hakar tooth that the matron of the Kamar wanted us to hold on to actually paid off, right? So in case you guys remember, we've already been into Shadowfire's cave. We came in earlier and there was a little contraption that we couldn't get around. And we're like, wow, I can't do this without another party member. Actually, I don't think you can do it without, unless you have 3 party members. But you guys will see that in a minute here. Hey, but I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, by the way. Hopefully you guys are making the most of it while you're enjoying me. Hopefully you're drinking some water. Water's important for you. Make sure that you hydrate. Water is basically the most important thing, like for your health, in addition to like sleep and all that thing. Some of the benefits of drinking water. Let's see. Necessary to maintain the balance of fluids in your body to prevent dehydration. It helps in the digestive process. It helps with your cognitive function. Helps you maintain your weight by not letting you overeat. It improves your skin health, your immune system, and your cardiovascular health, as well as making sure that your kidneys are functioning properly. So here's the #1 cardinal rule on the Nostalgia Gaming channel. You find a saving point, you save. Especially if you're going to go into a new area. Because imagine everything I just did, and we walk into the cave and there's a super heavy monster, and we just get trashed and clapped. Not everything I just did, the last 15 minutes of gameplay, out the window. Which, in all honesty, is not that big a deal. There's some games that punish you way harder. And where these gargoyles come from? So if you remember, the gargoyles are pretty resistant to most of my attacks. I probably should have morphed at this point, seen the gargoyles, but I'm like, well, there's 3 of us, right? None of us are really in any real danger tonight. He's taking 40 damage. He's got like 1,600 health, maybe? 1,700 health? Oh, he's got 1,200 health. I'm like, I don't think he's going to die anytime soon, so I don't really need to turn into my Morph form, my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, especially because I almost feel like the Morph form's kind of cheap. It's like, wow, I double my health. If I take damage, it doesn't stick to my main body. But you guys will see that the Morph form is probably our most powerful thing here. I know I'm alluding to a lot of it. I recorded a couple videos the same day, and every single one of them were bangers. This one's the best, though, because you guys are going to see. You guys are going to get hype. You guys are going to get very hype once we go through. I know it's a longer video than I usually make. This one's about like 45 minutes, probably closer to 50. Actually, probably 47, if I had to make a guess. But it's well worth it, and we're starting to get into the hype parts, boys. So right now I don't have to look for any collectibles because I found that last acorn. So there's no more collectibles in this highland here, right? I've cleared out the highland. I've collected, or the Orin area. I've collected all the collectibles there is to be found. So no need to continue destroying your guys' like motion sickness meters by spinning around in circles. If someone approaches you, cannot speak, be careful. He basically warns them about the changelings here. Sorry, I was mid-sentence here. I go through, I probably, and this is my second mistake here, I don't sell all the items that I have, and I just kind of look at what he has. Again, I'm using the method of looking at which is the most expensive one. Hello, Jarek, you should talk to my husband. He's got goods for sale. But we've talked to these people before, right? If you guys remember looking at the chapter 1, or basically the first video that I made, which most people have watched, we see those guys early, we help them out with a quest, they sell us some items. So I don't remember right now how to change characters, so I'm struggling, I'm trying to remember. I just think, hey, let me try morphing. That'll at least put me on the next person, right? But I'm like, that's not the proper way. Like, if I keep morphing, I'm going to waste so much time. There's no way that's the way to do it. So I just press all the buttons and I eventually find it. And I'm like, wow, this is easy. What an easy quest. I only needed 2 people to do this. Why did they make me wait till 3? So I bring Jarek over, I lower the ramp, and I go to myself, I'm like, oh, okay, the reason the ramp's not lowering is because she's standing on it. Easy clap, right? I was like, I'm probably just going to have to reset it with Jarek. This is going to be simple. Little did you know, if you guys are observant, when I stepped on Jarek's ramp, a little door opened by that little switch over there. And I'm not fast enough to get it, obviously. So I'm like, oh shoot, this is going to be a 3-person. And I just wasted some time. But it's okay. Let's get to here up. Let's get him to go press that switch. And then we'll bring Tylani up. Then we're ready to go. Go with the sauce. Sauce boss. Let's do it. So I press the switch. Get myself back to Tylani. And then I'm like, wait, what happened? How did I mess it up? And I'm like, oh shoot, Tahir's probably going to press the switch again, right? He's the one that's controlling it. And if you guys can't tell, navigating the little UI over there, like switching between characters is not that easy. Like I have to click it in, I have to wait to load, and then I have to navigate over. And most of the time, I don't know how I went backwards there. Apparently I went backwards. Most of the time it usually just goes forwards. And then this is always my favorite part, trying to regroup the party. Like for some reason this game has such a hard time saying, okay, you beat the puzzle. This is called The Forgotten Times by the Sarojan historian Redclaw. Would you like to read it? I, Redclaw, write the scroll. I have given much thought to the mystery of the Forgotten Times. I have wondered, oh my god, no race knows the history before the Forgotten Times, yet clearly Sarojan at least already had great knowledge and sophistication, requires hundreds, if not thousands of years of development. When I was a warrior, as a battle shock, suffered too much greatly in my mind and body. Often memories would be driven out, too terrible to bear. Thus I summarize some of the overwhelming events beyond imagining, separations from the known history in the Forgotten Times that would affect all races. I conclude that the great cataclysm is coming and it wiped out all the powerful beings. Sorry guys, I went through that way too fast. I don't know what I was thinking. This is called Forgotten Times. Oh, I already clicked that one. What's this other book? The Book of Ages by Redclaw. I, Redclaw, write this book. It's the history of the Sarojans. We write scripts and ancient scrolls, but it still remains a mystery. Next is the Age of Chaos. With the 9 lands, races started coming out and they're fighting just to build themselves up. At the last semblance of order, territories and boundaries were established, strong leaders came forth, keeps and villages and cities were founded, and the patterns of each race's life settled in. And then between 1200 years and 900 years, the Dagon had Chirac, Zonra for the Camarans, and then Dromar for the 600 years ago. Whiptail came about 300 years ago. With his death came to an end of all the Age of Heroes. Is there a new hero that's going to be named? He cannot foresee it, and that's us. Jarek. We're the new hero of the age. There's a trail post. Beyond it is marked with HYPEST scarabs. Everyone needs to regroup. So that's a little marker right there. That, you know how like games have triggers, these older games? Like once you do X, Y, and Z, and it senses all the necessary components there, the trigger sets. This is what I'm assuming this is the trigger for your party to get back together. So once you're in a certain radius, probably by the books, I would have to guess. Once you're within a certain radius, oh yeah, it's exactly by the books. It tells you, all right, bring your party back. That was a pretty good guess by me. It's not like I had played it beforehand and recorded this after, but I didn't remember. Okay, so if you look on the floor, there's little scarabs. They're kind of hard to see and they're kind of confusing. And get ready for it, boys. There's a cog. It looks ancient. I think if we bring it, it should be useful. You like to carry junk? 1 out of 30. So now we got a new collectible quest. Yay! Now we gotta find 30 cogs. And they blend right into the environment. If you guys could see that one, you could barely see it. But look at that beautiful water. Look at those beautiful crystals. And a big muscular man. What in the name of Dromar is that? From what I've heard of the Elazar, it's called the Pagok, a lava elemental. The stench it has smells like something burning. Let's keep our distance, as it might be our skin that smells burning. So remember how we talked about the elementals when I read that book? There's like the ice ones, the lava ones, and then the earth ones. The earth ones are the only ones friendly to humans. The lava ones are pretty mean, and the ice ones are kind of indifferent about everything. So that one definitely probably would have destroyed us. Are you alone, old timer? It's dangerous here. What do you think you're talking to, Sprog? I've been mining gems since before you're born. Grow a beard and then dare to give me advice. Besides, if you knew anything, you would know that these mists behind me are pure white wards. Simply standing in them will refresh you completely. They spell completely wrong. Haha, I like it, old one. It does not look like a lot to you. What are you doing skulking around the mining grounds? If you're looking to steal my magic shovel, you're out of luck. Why would we be interested in that? Legend says there's a deadly weapon of power somewhere in these depths, but it's buried behind the door. The shovel I was using to search for the shadow spawn. Near as I can tell, been more of the beasts around lately. Might make a meal of you soon, though not soon enough to suit me. Be gone and let me work. This guy was kind of a jerk. Can you tell us anything about the door to Sun Cave? I told you enough, Sprog. Go bother the shadow spawn. So this is another one of those mysterious healing places, like the trees that just kind of pop up out of nowhere and heal you, which I like. I think that's a kind of interesting mechanic. Like, alright, I don't know how you could be well worn in this area, especially because it's the beginning area and I haven't really fought many people, but I guess it's a nice little refresher. But if you remember, not 15 minutes ago we teleported and we fought a lurker, a couple gargoyles, a couple lurkers, a couple gargoyles, and like 3 skirlings. Alright, we gotta hit that save. You know that's a staple on the NGC channel here. So I don't know how you would have that much damage where you would need to hit that white mist. I mean, it could come in handy later, depending how difficult this area is. But let's go through. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Captain. What's that strange scratching sound? It seems to be coming from the cave. Maybe it's just rats or something eating the rats. It better not try it to get a taste of us. Hey, that Sorokin was kind of based, though. He kind of dunked on us. He called us Sprog a bunch, and then, like, was like, hopefully the monsters eat you. But they're not going to eat you fast enough for my liking. Wasn't very nice. Alright, now my girl's giving at least decent damage, right? 51 is better. If she gets 3 hits combined with one of Jarek's, we're able to kill one of those changelings pretty quick. We got 400 PP for that, so that's a pretty decent amount of experience for 2 monsters, especially because the 2 monsters weren't that tough, right? But that's kind of like an intro to like the cave system, because the caves get pretty tricky. I see more Sorojan pages, but the main path leads the other way. If Shadowfire left the path here, these monsters probably made short work of him. We may have no other choice but to retrace his steps if we want to find him. Oh man, I jumped right on top of it. Oh, I think my girl gave bleeding. That's a pretty good ailment for these monsters. Bleed, I mean, it adds up pretty quick. I mean, it's going to take a minute to get 265 damage from bleed, right? Like Tahir can do in one chop, but eventually it'll add up. So here we're at the fork in the road, right? Do we go the path of the journals? Or do we go and follow the scarabs. Now, of course, the monsters pop back out of the cave I just cleared, right? I couldn't fight them all at the same time. They have to pop back out and throw the rocks at me. Which, actually, the rocks do a decent amount of damage. If you remember, one of my first deaths here was those changelings and the morlets where they just kept chucking rocks at me and destroying me from a distance. Those rocks have a decent amount of damage. At least they drop good potions. Lava potions are pretty strong. So we're going to take the journal path first. Alright, start your timers, boys. I know I've already have one of them, and that's because in the very beginning of the game, I grabbed one because I was curious. But let's start our timer now at 25 minutes, and let's see how long it takes us to find these journal chapters. You guys are probably going to be in for a real spicy treat. So we're crunching these monsters, right? They're not really giving us much challenge. I kind of wish that they had either thrown more of them or they had done something. But I guess it's the intro of the cave, right? They want to ease you into it. But at this point, like, I'm getting so strong, I don't really know if any of the monsters could actually beat us. Unless they just outright swarm us and, you know, bad AI walking around. Alright, good thing I went back here. We're gonna look. We're gonna make sure we're not missing anything. And I think there's a little side portion of this caves here. Yeah, there's a double side portion here. Where a bunch of little goblins pop out. And look at that journal right there. I want you guys to notate that. I want you guys to keep that in mind. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It's right by Tahir's hair. When you zoom out of frame, you can see it. But let's chop up these little goblins. I'm going goblin mode at this point. If I wasn't sick, I'd be growling at them. So I get distracted. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's see. I've got some stuff. How full am I? Let's see if I can power up Taylani. Let's make her stronger. Yeah, let's give her some more damage. Thanks for the damage, boys. Thanks for the damage. And I do something, I make a crucial mistake here that could jeopardize my WR here, my world record. Alright. Let's use the healing orb again, because I healed the wrong guy. I meant to heal Tahir, but I healed Jarek. And I'm like, man, I'm starting to fill up all my items. I might as well get rid of a spike potion. That way I don't just throw it away. And I missed the journal. 5-head poggers. Oh no. Baka. Yeah, all those things describe me at this moment. But I found a cog. And we heal by accident when I mean to attack. That's the one thing about the healing orb is if you don't change back, like I end up making the mistake more often than not of healing. I really don't want to. Oh, me and Taylani and Jarek were just able to beat it without Tahir even making it down there. So, and with the damage boost, it took 2 hits from Taylani rather than 3. So I'm surprised that I found this one. Oh, here, let's go through this box. I found a heavy iron key and a lapis ring in the shape of a scarab. This must be one of the rings that Ambertail told us, which are keys to the depths. Yes, but which door to the twisting depth does it open? There's no indication. We must discover that. So I found Shadowfire's key, and I found a lapis ring. And I'm like, let me go click on the bed, right? There's a journal underneath the bed. That's the one I thought I would miss. That's the one right there. Like, that's tricky. Why would you go over and click on the bed? Right? You can't even interact with the bed. But I just had an inkling, like, the developers of this game are tricky, right? You know what's nice is it's realistic that if you're moving, like, there's a strong possibility that they miss if they throw an item. Like, that's actually kind of cool. Like in Age of Mythology, when the troops are moving, like, you can miss your arrows. Like, that's foresight and actual more realistic gameplay ideas. than most other games, right? I don't think they ever explain how Jarek just gets a little orb over his head. Oh, Journal Chapter 1, number 4. Keep the timers, boys. I hope you have your stopwatch running. Number 5. So I wonder if it's a magical spell that he has, or like the old lady gave it to him. I don't remember if they ever explain that. It's just kind of a weird development. Journal Chapter 6. Or maybe that's just like a mental thing for the player, like, oh hey, this is who you have, and I know it's a little bit dark, and we didn't want to change the shading and the graphics, so we're gonna give you a magical lamp over your head. Get him, Taylani. Oh, nope. I thought Taylani was gonna be able to finish him. Did she do a flip too? Alright, at this point, now we're gonna get into the montage of throwing away items. Well, that's easy throwaway, right? Wither potions, easy throwaways. Journal Chapter 1, number 7. Alright, as you can see, we've already found more journals in a shorter amount of time than we found every other collectible. So in my head, I'm thinking, wow, this is good. Like, I might be able to finish this quest pretty quick. I was like, and this is Chapter 1. I was like, I don't think there's too many areas left in Chapter 1 to explore. So maybe, let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me double check. Maybe there's 2 under the bed, right? Little did I know that I had already missed one. It's the exact same thing that happened probably with the first silver acorn. Was I got distracted, or I didn't see it because it blends in with the environment, and I didn't even go. I went and double checked. I didn't check the corner. Oof. Big cringe. But it's alright. Mistakes were made. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna double check, make sure that I'm not missing anything over here. Let's get to some more changes in battle, right? At this point, most of the battles are pretty copy-paste. It's like, walk up, press A. Walk up, press A. Beat the monster. Press A. Oh, I couldn't even kill him without Tahir helping. That's the one thing about this game, is the combat system's not fantastic. Combat system, not amazing. It's decent. Right? It's a different style of action, you know, strategic, turn-based. I think I said in the beginning it's called like action turn-based or something like that, right? It's a different style, but as I gotten this powerful now, and I maxed out my two-handed sword, and I'm maxing out my two-handed sword and my chop into, like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, okay, these monsters are tripping. I don't like how you can walk up to a monster and it's like, okay, I'm within your danger range, right? I'm literally within your like kill zone. Let me attack you. Let me get the battle started. Can I get some like sneak attack advantage? Can I get a little advantage for them not paying attention? Can I chop you? I always thought that was kind of weird about this game. Like, it's not that it doesn't reward you for coming up on the monsters. It almost kind of penalizes you, because it's like I'm in a precarious position, and if some of the monsters are like ranged monsters, like that one I had to walk away from. Let's power up. Let's keep powering up our stuff. I get to these like moods where I'm like, I'm just gonna power up all my weapons, right? I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna use my PP. I have thousands to over 10,000. He's got over 9,000 PP. I might as well use it. That's DBZ reference for you guys. It's over 9,000. As my scouter breaks. Yeah, I love me some DBZ. That was when I was a kid, that's like the only anime that people really could watch, right? I mean, the mainstream. That and Naruto or Naruto or whatever, however it's pronounced properly. Don't flame me in the comments for my mispronunciations, please. Actually, feel free. If I'm saying it wrong, you tell me. And You tell me the proper pronunciation. But we're going through here, and this part kind of threw me off because it all looks the same, and the heights are all uneven, and I'm like, wow, this is a big open area. There should be at least a journal in here, right? I was like, but I'm gonna be extra thorough because I kind of see the writing on the wall. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the journals, probably all of them. Oh, there's one. Find it. Journal chapter 1, number 8. Yeah. I see the writing on the wall. I'm like, okay, they're giving me journals pretty fast. I was like, probably as I go through this cave, I might be able to reach all of them, right? And I'm just chilling. See, this is the thing that I was talking about with the battle system. Like, look at me. I'm literally chilling in front of these guys. I'm like, okay, there's 4 of them. Let me try and morph. Maybe that'll trigger it, right? Because they're probably, as soon as I walk away, they're probably going to attack me right in the back. It's always fun watching the Juggernaut pick stuff up. PP. I'll take that 500. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to fight, guys. I'm trying to provoke them. I'm trying to set the trigger off. I'm like, okay, maybe I have to walk away and they'll all throw rocks on my back. Like, yeah, they got me, coach. Set me up for failure. Give them one more try. I'm like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. I went through a whole morph. I didn't even have the opportunity to fight these guys. Well, I guess I decided to morph again. It's not like these guys are hard enough that I actually had to morph either. But I opened the store, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a boss battle in here, right? Like, this is going to be a tough one. And I was right, there's a ton of them in here. And this is when I learned that against the changelings, I'm better off with my sword. Like, I'm barely giving him any damage. And he's blocking a bunch of my attacks. I'm not happy about it. But Tahir's getting pummeled. So I gotta heal him. Because he's just getting demolished with all those rocks. For some reason, they only like targeting Tahir. And I'm like, I think I'm better off as Jared in this battle. And we clean up these guys pretty quick, even though there was about 5 of them or whatever. Like, they get wrecked. Get wrecked. Let me do a little victory dance. And we get 1,000 PP for it. It's pretty sweet. And we gotta throw away an item. So, if you look on the floor, look how many journals there are. Be ready for journal hype train. We found something, an ancient torque with an empty fitting that looks exactly the right size of a car tooth. Then it must be Dramar's tooth. This is the one that freed Spoker. Put the tooth in it. A perfect fit. This is what we came for. Just like Rihanna. Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time you move. Alright, Journal Palooza. Hype, boys. Hype. Look how many we're finding. And at this point, I'm thinking in my head, like, oh my god, I'm gonna finally complete a journal quest. Like, this is it. But I have to use some items just to make sure that we, if I find anything here, I don't immediately have to toss it out, because I'm gonna open a chest, right? There's a note from Shadowfire written in Orin and Sarojin. He would have guessed that Orin would be here. Read it, perhaps. You have come to the forgotten times. You have lost yourself. You must awake. Remember, the other has awoken before you. It is evil unbound. I will go into the depths. There I will seek my own answers to find the truth and nature about the form. I will command the weird, and then perhaps we will speak. He speaks in riddles, as usual. Yes, we found the torque. It's starting to find Dramar's too. So, by the depths, I'm assuming that probably the next portion of this game is us going down to the Twisted Depths and finding Shadowfire, and maybe accepting him as one of our party members? Right? So I'm like, okay, here, Journal Palooza. Grab all those journals. I'm gonna check that table. I'm gonna check the floor. I'm gonna check behind the crystals. I gotta check everything. They gave me so many here that I figure I'm gonna beat this quest, right? We're gonna PR, we're gonna world record. 1,000 PP for the team. Journal chapter 21. Journal chapter 22. We're getting there, boys. We're almost there. I'm like, let me just double check. I don't want to mess this up. We're on great track. We're on personal record time. Like, we're going to make sure that we don't mess this up. We're going to do the safe strategy. We're going to do the safe route, right? We're not going to do any skips, no clips, nothing. We're making sure that we're doing this a safe way. It's a little bit of a time loss, but we're going to make sure we do this properly. And I still can't get these guys to aggro on me. Like, maybe they're just a friendly changeling. They just want to chill. They're chillings. They're not even changelings. They're just chillings. They're like, hey, bro, take a chill pill. We don't want to fight. We just want to hang. I'm like, alright, cool. I'll accept that. Tell your brothers and sisters the same thing. Like, tell those guys to chill. They're always throwing rocks at me and whatnot. It's not really nice. So I want Tahir to attack somebody else. Oh, no, apparently I didn't. I thought I had targeted Tahir on somebody else. No, on this one I sent Tahir the other way. Because I'm like, hey, I might as well, like, get the process started. That way I'm not just taking rocks to the face over and over. Oh, this time they finally attacked Taylani. It's not often they attack her. Which is pretty chivalrous of the changeling, right? Pretty nice of them. Journal chapter 23. I only have 2 left. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh shoot, I just saw that orange door over there. I was like, that's probably where I used my ring. And that's probably where the last journal's gonna be. Because I found journal chapter 24. But you guys that have been watching and paying attention, you know. You know. So we get to the door. I thought luck was with us fighting the scarab ring, but it doesn't work. The Sarojin who was here, Shadowfire, must have used a ring to leave. We must find another Sarojin who can tell us how to open this door. So I tried it anyways, and I see a chest in there. I'm like, oh my god, the journal's in there, right? But I was like, let me just double check. Because I was like, they've got me this close to finding the last journal. I was like, I need to make sure that I haven't missed it, right? We're still going to PR. Personal record it, right? Especially finding that many journals in a short amount of time. And completing 2 collectible quests. Like, that's got to be a world record for completing the most collectible quests in the shortest amount of time for Legend of Alon Dar here. But I have to double check myself. You know how it is. I'm going to go through, make sure that we're not missing anything. And I'm still not going to be able to fight those changelings. And I accepted it. So, bouncing between my mind, I'm like, okay, is it behind the door? Did I miss it? Am I mega cringe? Did I just accidentally miss it and wasn't paying attention? Am I thinking too hard? Am I not thinking enough? And I was like, they sent so many in here. There's a strong possibility that I just, in the sheer hype that I was in the state of hype, right? The trance of hype that I was in, I could have just missed it by not paying attention, right? So I'm going to go through, I'm going to retrace my steps. And I'm like, okay, I found like 3 here. I already touched this thing. I opened up the chests. I checked underneath the table. Let me check underneath the chair. Let me just make sure. I was like, but I didn't check this side of the table. I didn't check this side of the chair. So I'm going through and I'm racking my brain. And I'm like, man, is it here? Is it not here? What am I going to do? It's good. We're going to go back. We're going to... what stuck out of my mind is I went through that whole large area right here. And I didn't find anything. And I think to myself, there has to be something here. There ain't no way that there's nothing here. That doesn't make sense. So I'm going through and I'm like, okay, well maybe I missed it on the other side. Did I check underneath the bed properly? Did I check that area? I found the cog. Maybe it was in the cog and I got distracted. So all these thoughts are running through my mind and I'm like, my world record, my PR, I'm losing it. And then these goblins decide to just pop up. And it's like, I already cleared this part of the cave. Why are you still sending me changelings? These are copy-paste fights. Like, I hate when games do that. You don't need to spam me with a bunch of weakling monsters at this point. I've already cleared your cave. I've already beaten the best, and I've bested most of your enemies. Let me out. Like that skit from Eric Andre where he's like on the other side of the fence and he goes, "Let me in. Let me in." This is opposite. This is let me out. Let me out. And we're going through and I'm going to check this. I'm going to make sure that this part isn't holding any secrets from me because this is the most suspect part in my mind. This is the part where I said, hey, if it's gonna be here and I was a betting man, I would bet it's here. I'd put $1,000 on red right now that it's here. If life was a roulette table and finding the journal was the ball, and I would have lost because all you guys already know where it's at. So I'm gonna go through. I didn't even think to check the corner. Or did I? I did think. I thought. And there it is. Journal chapter 25. And all I get is 500 lousy PP. And I'm like, wow, that was so satisfying. But also disheartening. I didn't even get a reward for it. And then I remember later I have to collect all the journal chapters. I have to collect all 100 before I can get my reward or whatever it is. But hey, world record, I'm assuming, because I checked Speed Devil's archive or well, what's the speedrunning website? Speedrunning website. Speedrun.com, and I didn't see any journal chapter 1's speedrunning things, so I'm assuming I'm the world record holder. Don't quote me on that. And thanks guys for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. You guys are the best. Goats. Hype. Thank you guys. I will see you on the next one. Don't forget to check out my other videos. Hasta luego.